Have you ever felt that strange connection with someone? The kind that doesn't need words, the kind that lingers quietly in the air? You're talking, laughing, maybe even pretending it's all casual, but deep down something feels different. His eyes stay on you a little longer than they should. His energy changes when you walk into the room. His actions feel thoughtful in ways that don't make sense for just friends. It's confusing, magnetic, and beautiful, all at once. That's what this video is about. The silent language of emotion. The truth that shows itself not in what he says, but in what he does, because love doesn't always begin with words. Sometimes it begins in the space between two people, in glances, in gestures, in moments that seem ordinary but feel anything but. Psychologists say that nonverbal behavior reveals the subconscious far more than speech ever can. When a man develops deep feelings, his mind may try to keep them hidden, but his body, tone, and actions start giving him away. He'll move differently around you, speak differently to you, and notice things no one else does. He won't announce his feelings. Instead, they'll slip out through kindness, protection, and presence. You might wonder, why doesn't he just say it? The truth is, emotion makes people vulnerable. For many men, expressing love feels like stepping off a cliff, exposing their deepest side without knowing if they'll be caught. So instead, they let their actions speak. Every small gesture becomes a whisper from the heart. I care about you. I just don't know how to tell you yet. This kind of love is quiet but powerful. You can sense it when he shows up without being asked, when he remembers things you've said in passing, or when he finds excuses to stay close a little longer. It's not about grand declarations. It's about consistency, the kind of affection that hides behind patience, gentleness, and small acts of devotion that say more than any I love you ever could. In this video, we'll uncover 12 subtle moves that reveal a man's hidden feelings, signs most people overlook because they seem so ordinary. But once you recognize them, you'll start to see the truth beneath the surface, the difference between attention and emotion, between interest and affection, between liking you and quietly loving you. Every move we'll discuss is rooted in psychology, the science of how emotion transforms behavior, but explained through the language of the heart. Because while studies can describe the patterns, only experience can make them real. So as you listen, think about the man who crosses your mind when your heart feels that small pull. Maybe he hasn't said it out loud. Maybe he's still guarding his words. But if these signs sound familiar, chances are he's already telling you, not with words, but with actions that speak louder, deeper, and more truthfully than language ever could. Let's begin. Move 1. His eyes linger. When he thinks you're not looking, when a man's eyes linger on you when he thinks you're not looking, it reveals a language beyond words, a silent confession of what he feels but cannot yet say. Eyes are the windows to the heart, and when love hides behind restraint, they become the first to betray it. His glance isn't just curiosity, it's emotional gravity, an invisible pull he can't resist even when he tries to appear indifferent. In that moment, his gaze becomes a conversation his lips are too cautious to start. He studies the way you move, the way you laugh, the expressions that flicker across your face. Each look is an attempt to understand you, to memorize the small details that make you unique. Psychologists call this prolonged visual attention, a natural behavior triggered when someone feels emotional or romantic attraction. It's instinctive. His brain releases dopamine, heightening focus and pleasure just by watching you. He doesn't want you to notice, yet he can't help but watch. It's a contradiction, the heart reaching out while the mind pulls back. That's why his eyes linger in stolen seconds, when you're distracted, laughing with someone else, or simply existing in your own world. He looks because you bring him calm and chaos at the same time. It's not lust, it's connection, something that feels both thrilling and terrifying. If you've ever caught him looking and he quickly looks away, it's not embarrassment alone. It's exposure. For a fleeting second, his inner world slipped through the mask he wears. Love, especially unspoken love, is full of hesitation. He fears misreading your signals, fears rejection, fears ruining something that already feels too delicate to name. So he hides behind half smiles and casual glances, hoping you'll see what he's too afraid to say aloud. There's a kind of vulnerability in the way he watches you, as if every glance is a quiet question. Do you see me the way I see you? When a man is emotionally drawn to someone, his body unconsciously seeks visual reassurance. He looks to feel connected, to anchor his emotions in your presence. It's not just about beauty. It's about familiarity, comfort, and admiration. And you'll feel it too. That subtle electricity when your eyes meet. The air thickens. Time slows for a heartbeat, and in that instant you both know something unspoken is alive between you. That's the truth behind his lingering gaze. It's not just attention. It's affection. It's not just interest. It's longing. His eyes reveal the love story his words haven't yet found the courage to tell. Move 2. He finds subtle reasons to be near you. When a man starts finding subtle reasons to be near you, it's one of the clearest signs that his feelings go far deeper than friendship. Love, especially the quiet kind, often hides behind ordinary actions. He might not confess how much he's drawn to you, but his behavior will reveal it in small, consistent ways. He'll find reasons to be where you are, not in obvious or exaggerated gestures, but in moments that seem coincidental yet aren't. Maybe he shows up where you usually go, at a cafe you like, an event you mentioned, or near your workspace, pretending it's just chance. He might offer help with something minor, join conversations that involve you, or linger after a group activity just long enough to walk you out. These small choices aren't random. They're guided by his subconscious desire to stay connected to you. Psychologists call this proximity-seeking behavior, a natural human instinct to remain physically close to someone we care about or feel emotionally attached to. For him, being near you provides comfort even if nothing is said. It's not about control or obsession, it's about presence. Your energy calms him, your voice centers him, and your smile gives him the sense of belonging he craves but may not yet understand. When he's near, he feels part of your world even if he hasn't earned a title in it yet. He might offer small excuses, asking for your opinion, seeking your help with something he could easily do himself, or casually appearing just when you seem to need something. These gestures are often his heart's way of saying, I want to be around you even if I can't say why. And notice, he doesn't do this with everyone. His attention feels specific, intentional. Even in a crowd, he seems tuned to your presence, adjusting his pace, direction, or timing to align with yours. He'll find reasons to stand beside you, even if it's just for a few seconds. Maybe he reaches for something at the same time as you, sits near you at a meeting, or starts a conversation that keeps him close just a little longer. What makes this move powerful is that it's both physical and emotional. Proximity is his way of expressing affection while still feeling safe. It allows him to experience connection without the risk of full vulnerability. But to you it feels warm, grounding, as if he's quietly saying, I just like being where you are. So, if he keeps showing up, lingering in your space, or finding reasons to cross paths, it's not coincidence. It's his heart speaking in actions instead of words. His presence is the message. Move 3. His voice softens. When he talks to you. When a man's voice softens when he talks to you, it's not an accident. It's emotion revealing itself through tone. The human voice is one of the most powerful indicators of genuine feeling. Without realizing it, our vocal pitch, rhythm, and tone shift based on who we're speaking to and how we feel about them. When a man is drawn to you emotionally, his voice naturally becomes gentler, slower, and more melodic, as if his entire body is trying to communicate care, safety, and closeness. Psychologists refer to this as vocal modulation, a subconscious behavior where people adjust their voice to reflect emotional connection. When he talks to you, he's not performing. His tone softens because you affect him. You make him drop his defenses, and his voice mirrors that openness. The sharpness he might use in daily conversations fades away. His laughter becomes warmer, his pauses longer, and his words more thoughtful. It's his way of creating emotional harmony, a silent invitation that says, you're safe here. You matter. If you listen closely, you'll notice subtle shifts, a slightly lower tone, a slower pace, or even a whisper-like calm when he speaks your name. These are not rehearsed gestures. They're instinctive. The body mirrors the heart, and his voice follows suit. Studies in relationship psychology show that when people feel affection or attraction, they unconsciously speak more softly, mimicking the nurturing tone often reserved for someone special. It's the same voice people use when they comfort, protect, or express love. This change in tone also reflects vulnerability. When a man truly likes someone, he doesn't want to intimidate or dominate. He wants to connect. His softened voice is a sign of emotional surrender, an acknowledgement that you hold some power over his heart. That's why even simple words like "How was your day?" sound different coming from him. You feel sincerity in his tone, warmth in his rhythm, and care in his delivery. And sometimes it's not just about softness, it's about focus. He listens differently. He doesn't interrupt. He reacts to your emotions with tone shifts of his own. Lower when you're sad, lighter when you laugh. It's emotional synchronization, what psychologists call attunement, where two people's emotional frequencies begin to align. So when his voice softens around you, don't dismiss it as coincidence. It's his heart slipping through the cracks of his composure. It's the sound of affection hiding in plain sight, gentle, sincere, and impossible to fake. His words may be ordinary, but the way he says them tells a deeper truth. He feels something real, and his voice already knows it. Move 4. He remembers tiny details. You mentioned once. When a man remembers tiny details you mentioned only once. It's never by accident, it's a reflection of emotional focus. When someone truly cares, they don't just hear your words, they absorb them. They store the fragments of your thoughts, your preferences, your stories, and the emotions hidden behind them. It's his way of keeping a piece of you with him even when you're not around. Maybe you casually mentioned your favorite coffee flavor weeks ago, and suddenly he brings it up in conversation. Perhaps you told him a small story about your childhood or the name of a pet you once had, and he remembers it perfectly. These details might seem trivial to others, but to him, they're pieces of a puzzle, each one helping him understand who you are. Psychologists refer to this as selective attention, where someone subconsciously prioritizes information from a person they feel emotionally connected to. His mind is tuned to your frequency, filtering out noise and remembering what matters to you. This kind of memory isn't rehearsed. It's instinctive. He may not even realize he's doing it. When you speak, his brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and strengthening emotional recall. That's why your words stick with him. They leave a mark. He's not memorizing to impress you. He's remembering because he values you. These small recalls often appear in quiet moments, when he surprises you by recalling something you said in passing, or when he adjusts his behavior based on your preferences. It might be the way he plays your favorite song without asking, chooses a restaurant that matches your taste, or checks on something you mentioned struggling with. Each act says, "I'm paying attention because you matter." What makes this so powerful is its subtlety. He's not shouting his affection. He's showing it through awareness. Love, especially in its early or unspoken stages, often hides in these small recognitions, moments that prove emotional presence. He's building an invisible bridge through memory, creating a quiet emotional continuity between every conversation you've shared. When a man remembers the little things, it's not just thoughtfulness, it's intimacy forming beneath the surface. It means he listens not just to reply, but to understand. In a world where most people forget the next day's words, he chooses to keep yours. That's not just interest. That's care. That's love paying attention. Move 5. He mirrors your body language, without realizing it. When a man starts mirroring your body language without realizing it, it's one of the most subtle yet powerful signs that he's emotionally connected to you. Mirroring is a natural, unconscious behavior that occurs when two people are deeply attuned to each other. It's the body's way of saying, "I feel what you feel." Psychologists call this nonverbal synchronization, a subconscious imitation of posture, gestures, and facial expressions that reflects emotional rapport. If you notice he crosses his legs when you do, leans in when you lean closer, or matches the rhythm of your movements, he's not doing it deliberately. His subconscious is aligning with yours because he feels comfortable and connected. This mirroring creates harmony, a sense of shared rhythm that makes interactions feel effortless and warm. It's the same phenomenon that happens when close friends start using similar phrases or couples naturally move in sync over time. When a man is drawn to you, his body tries to build an invisible bridge. Mirroring helps him feel closer, safer, and more emotionally linked without needing to say a word. It's part of how attraction deepens. The more synchronized two people become physically, the more they start to align emotionally. You might notice he adjusts his tone, energy, or even breathing patterns to match yours. These tiny cues build unconscious trust, making you both feel in tune. This isn't about manipulation or mimicry. It's instinctive empathy. His body reflects his feelings long before his mind catches up. When you smile, he smiles. When you fold your arms, he might do the same. When you lean back and relax, he mirrors that ease. Each small reflection is his nervous system's way of syncing with yours, creating a sense of emotional safety and belonging. Pay attention to these quiet parallels, especially in moments of emotional intensity, during laughter, shared silence, or eye contact. If he's mirroring you, it means he's not just paying attention. He's connected. It's his body's silent confession that he feels what you feel and wants to stay in emotional harmony with you. Mirroring is nature's unspoken love language, a physical echo of the heart's truth. When he unconsciously moves like you, it's his way of saying, "I'm with you, I understand you, and I feel close to you." No words are needed. His body already speaks the language of affection. Move 6. He gets protective in unexpected moments. When a man becomes protective in unexpected moments, it's a deeply instinctive sign that he cares more than he admits. Protection in this sense doesn't always mean physical defense. It's about emotional safeguarding too. When he's genuinely attached to you, his instinct is to ensure your safety, comfort, and peace of mind, often before you even realize you need it. Psychologists link this to the protective response, an evolutionary behavior rooted in affection and emotional investment. You might notice it in small, almost invisible gestures. He guides you through a crowded space with a light hand on your back, walks on the traffic side of the street, or checks in when you're out late. Maybe he looks out for your well-being when you're stressed, offering quiet reassurance or practical help without being asked. These moments may seem ordinary, but they're loaded with emotional meaning. They reveal that your safety matters to him on a personal level. Sometimes his protectiveness shows up emotionally. If someone upsets you, his demeanor shifts subtly. His tone becomes firmer, his attention sharper. He might not confront anyone directly, but you'll sense his presence as a silent shield. It's not about control or dominance. It's empathy turning into action. He feels your discomfort as his own, and his natural response is to ease it. What makes this move so revealing is how spontaneous it is. He doesn't plan these actions. They emerge from genuine concern. When men feel emotionally bonded, their nervous systems react differently. Their bodies produce a surge of adrenaline and oxytocin, the combination that triggers protective behavior. This is why he might instinctively reach for your hand when crossing a street or step closer when you seem uneasy. Even in conversation, this instinct shows up. He defends you when others dismiss your ideas, supports your opinions, and respects your boundaries. He notices when you're tired, anxious, or withdrawn and finds quiet ways to help, maybe by making you laugh, giving you space, or just listening. Protection to him becomes a form of love, not loud, but steady and dependable. When a man protects you in unexpected moments, it's his way of saying, "Your well-being matters to me more than my own comfort." It's a sign that you've entered his emotional circle, where care and affection merge into instinct. Real love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply stands close when the world feels heavy, and that's how you know it's real. Move 7. His jokes hide. Genuine affection. When a man hides his feelings behind humor, it often means his heart is speaking in disguise. Joking becomes his safest way to express what he truly feels, affection, admiration, or even vulnerability, without fully exposing himself. Humor is his emotional armor, a way to stay close while pretending it's all casual. He teases you not to mock, but to connect. Every playful remark, every inside joke, every light jab is layered with warmth he's not ready to name. Psychologists call this affectionate teasing, a form of emotional communication that builds intimacy while maintaining safety. When someone feels something deep but fears rejection or misunderstanding, humor becomes a bridge. It lets them share connection without risk. He can make you laugh, make you feel seen, and yet keep his heart protected under the surface of a smile. You might notice his jokes often center around shared experiences or private details between you two. He remembers something small you did, turns it into a playful tease, and then watches your reaction closely. Not to laugh at you, but to see if you feel the same closeness he does. In those moments, laughter becomes a way to measure emotional distance. If you laugh back, he feels accepted. If you don't, he hides behind a grin and says, "Just kidding." But the truth is, he wasn't, not entirely. Humor is emotional intimacy in disguise. When a man likes you, he'll often use jokes to test the waters, to flirt softly, to express admiration indirectly, or to keep you engaged in an easy, positive energy. The more comfortable he feels, the more playful and frequent the jokes become. It's his way of saying, I enjoy you. You make me feel alive. Sometimes, though, his humor shifts tone when his emotions deepen. The jokes grow softer, more personal, more protective. He starts teasing you about being too kind or too charming, as if he's describing traits he admires but can't openly praise. That's when humor stops being just comedy and becomes connection. Underneath the laughter, his heart is speaking. Each time he jokes with you, he's trying to build a world where both of you can be light, open, and free. A place where love can breathe without the weight of fear. His jokes aren't meant to hide affection forever. They're meant to carry it safely until he finds the courage to say what he truly feels. And if you listen between the lines of his laughter, you'll hear it. The quiet rhythm of genuine affection hiding behind every smile. Move 8. He tries to impress you without making it obvious. When a man tries to impress you without making it obvious, it's one of the most telling signs that his feelings for you run deep. He doesn't want to appear desperate for attention, but he still wants you to notice him, to see his worth, his strengths, and the best parts of who he is. This quiet effort often reveals more than any grand gesture ever could. You'll notice it in the little things, how he suddenly starts dressing a bit better when he knows he'll see you, or how he becomes more thoughtful in his words and actions around you. He might casually bring up something he accomplished, but with a modest tone, as if it just slipped out. It's not about bragging. It's about hoping you'll be proud of him. He wants to be someone you admire. Psychologists refer to this behavior as impression management, a natural part of attraction where people subtly adjust their behavior to gain the approval or attention of someone they value. But when it's genuine, as it is with him, it doesn't come from ego. It comes from affection. He wants you to see the best version of him because you inspire that version to exist. Sometimes his attempts are even more subtle. He might offer help in areas where he can showcase competence, fixing something, giving advice, or offering support when you need it. These aren't random acts. They're his way of saying, I can take care of things for you. He wants to prove his reliability without saying the words, and though he tries to make it seem casual, you can sense the intention behind it. He might also share his passions, music, ideas, or goals, hoping you'll see his depth. When he talks about something he loves, notice how he glances at you to gauge your reaction. That quick look isn't vanity, it's vulnerability. He wants to know if you see something special in him too. The most beautiful part of this move is its humility. He doesn't seek attention from everyone. His efforts are reserved for you. He's not performing, he's expressing. It's as if your presence awakens a quiet motivation in him to grow, to do better, to become someone worthy of the connection he feels. When a man tries to impress you without making it obvious, it's not about winning. It's about belonging. His gestures are small but sincere, an unspoken way of saying, I care what you think of me, because you matter to me. And when affection hides behind subtle effort, that's how you know his feelings are real. Move 9. He gets quiet. When you talk about other men, when a man gets quiet when you talk about other men, it's rarely just coincidence. It's emotion slipping through restraint. That sudden silence, the shift in his energy, the faint change in his eyes. It's his heart reacting before his mind can compose itself. He might try to look calm, smile politely, or change the subject, but inside something tightens. It's not anger or jealousy in the shallow sense. It's protective discomfort, born from care and unspoken affection. Psychologists describe this as an emotional threat response, which happens when someone feels that a valued connection might be at risk. When you mention another man, like especially in a positive or intimate way, he subconsciously imagines losing the closeness he shares with you. His silence isn't meant to guilt you. It's his instinct trying to process complex feelings he hasn't yet put into words. You'll often notice this reaction in subtle ways. His posture stiffens slightly. His laughter fades, or he looks away for a moment longer than usual. He may try to listen attentively, but offers shorter responses, almost as if he's retreating inward. That's his heart stepping back to protect itself. To him, it feels safer to say nothing than to risk revealing what's really going on inside. Sometimes his silence is mixed with curiosity. He wants to know who the man is, what kind of bond you share, and whether that connection threatens his place in your world. Yet he won't ask directly, because that would mean admitting he cares. So instead, he stays quiet, observing, trying to decode the tone in your voice or the smile on your face when you mention someone else. If you pay close attention, you'll see that his quietness is not cold, it's heavy with emotion. It's a pause filled with words he's not brave enough to say. I wish that were me you were talking about. The way he goes silent is his version of vulnerability, the moment when affection, fear, and hope collide. What makes this behavior so meaningful is that he doesn't withdraw completely. Even through the silence, he stays present, still listening, still caring. That tells you everything. His quiet isn't indifference. It's the sound of restraint. He's holding back feelings that want to speak. So when he gets quiet as you talk about other men, remember, it's not disinterest. It's emotion wearing armor. Behind that pause lives a man who feels deeply but fears losing what he hasn't even confessed to having yet. Move 10. His mood changes. When you're around, when a man's mood changes the moment you're around, it's because your presence affects him on an emotional and physiological level. You shift his energy without even trying. It's the chemistry between you that alters how he feels, thinks, and acts. If he's quieter or distracted before you arrive but suddenly becomes more animated, relaxed, or focused once you're near, that's not random. It's connection taking over logic. Psychologists explain this through emotional contagion, the phenomenon where people subconsciously mirror the emotions and energy of those they're drawn to. When he likes you, his body and mind react automatically to your presence. His posture straightens, his face brightens, and his tone becomes warmer. It's like his whole system wakes up the moment you enter the room. He might start joking more, trying harder to keep the conversation alive, or even fidget slightly because of nervous excitement. All these small shifts show that you've become an emotional trigger, in the best way possible. Sometimes the change is subtle, a softer tone, a longer glance, or a calmer energy. Other times it's obvious and he goes from distant to engaged, from distracted to present. When a man feels something for you, his mood becomes tied to your proximity. It's not manipulation or performance. It's chemistry. Your presence gives him dopamine, the feel-good chemical, and when you're gone, the drop leaves a quiet void he can't explain. Even in group settings, you'll notice his mood shifts when you interact directly. His laughter becomes more genuine, his attention sharper. He's more alert, more himself. That's because you represent emotional safety, someone he feels comfortable around. Conversely, if you're distant or seem withdrawn, he might grow quieter or uneasy. His emotions respond to yours in real time. What makes this so revealing is how little control he has over it. Attraction doesn't ask for permission. It simply changes the emotional landscape. When he lights up in your presence or softens his demeanor without thinking, that's not just interest, it's emotional resonance. You've become a part of his internal world, influencing his mood without words. So when his energy shifts the moment you appear, take note. That transformation is the heart's silent confession. Proof that your presence matters to him more than he's ready to say. It's not what he says that tells the story, but how he feels when you're near. His mood gives him away long before his words ever will. When a man supports you even when it doesn't benefit him, it's one of the clearest signs that his feelings are genuine and selfless. True affection isn't about gain. It's about care, loyalty, and emotional investment without expecting anything in return. When he goes out of his way to be there for you, especially when no one's watching or when he gains nothing from it, it shows that your happiness has become part of his own. You'll notice this in the quiet, consistent ways he shows up. Maybe he helps you solve a problem that doesn't involve him, or listens patiently when you're overwhelmed. He offers encouragement when you doubt yourself, not because he wants to impress you, but because he truly believes in you. Psychologists call this altruistic affection, a type of emotional behavior driven by empathy and genuine attachment. When a man feels deeply for someone, his instinct is to nurture and protect, not to win, but to support. It's in the way he checks on you after a difficult day, celebrates your achievements even when he's dealing with his own struggles, or defends you when others speak unfairly. These actions reveal integrity, his heart aligning with your well-being. He's not waiting for recognition or reward. The act of helping you is the reward itself. Sometimes his support shows in more subtle ways, giving advice that pushes you forward, helping you see your worth when you've forgotten it, or simply being a stable presence when life feels chaotic. He might sacrifice time, comfort, or convenience just to make things a little easier for you. And even when you thank him, he brushes it off, saying, "It's nothing." But it's not nothing. It's love acting quietly. His support also extends to respecting your independence. He doesn't try to control your choices or demand credit for his help. Instead, he empowers you and stands beside you, not in front of you. That's emotional maturity, the kind that comes from care, not possession. When a man supports you even when it doesn't benefit him, it's his heart revealing its truest form. Love in its purest expression is service without agenda, a desire to see the other person thrive, even if it costs a little of yourself. His actions whisper what his words might not yet say. I'm on your side, always. And when someone stands by you for no reason other than genuine care, that's not just affection, that's devotion in its quietest, most honest form. Move 12. His actions reveal what his words don't. When a man's actions begin to reveal what his words don't, it's because his emotions have grown stronger than his ability to express them. Words can be guarded, filtered, or chosen carefully, but actions come straight from instinct. They are raw truth made visible. A man who truly feels something for you may not always say it, but he will show it in consistency and effort, and in the small ways he places your happiness above his own comfort. He might not tell you he misses you, but he finds reasons to reach out. A message, a meme, a check-in that seems casual but isn't. He might not say, "I care," yet he listens when you speak, remembers what matters to you, and notices when you're off. His gestures replace declarations. That's because deep down he's afraid words might change things and might make his feelings too real or risk rejection. So instead, he lets his actions carry what his heart can't yet voice. Psychologists call this behavioral communication, where emotions manifest through habits rather than speech. When a man is emotionally invested, his attention becomes his language. He shows up when you need help, prioritizes your well-being, or quietly does things to make your day easier, even if no one else notices. These patterns are not accidental. They're emotional reflexes. His care isn't performative. It's intuitive. Often, the most telling signs are the quiet ones. He defends you when you're not around. He notices when something bothers you, even before you say it. He supports your goals without jealousy and celebrates your wins as if they were his own. These moments reveal sincerity because they come with no expectation of return. Their love expressed in its purest form, steady, reliable, unspoken. The contrast between what he says and what he does is where his truth lives. Maybe his words are cautious. He calls you a friend, keeps things light. Yet his behavior feels intimate and protective. That duality isn't confusion. It's vulnerability. He's letting his actions speak first, hoping you'll understand what his voice is still learning to say. When a man's actions reveal what his words don't, you're witnessing honesty in motion. His hands, his timing, his presence, they all carry a message he's not ready to speak aloud. I'm here, I care. You matter more than you know. And while words can falter or fade, actions like these never lie. They're the purest proof of hidden love.